Good afternoon or good morning, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is viewing this interview. My name is Anissa Brathwaite. I'm one of the board members of the Miami Wet Fest 2022. And I have with me Dave Ash. He is actually the innovative director and writer for Incompleteness. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to get in top of it, and we'll speak a little bit more. I'll allow Dave to go over this as well. But what I would like to start off by is saying, it is an honor, Dave, to be able to interview you. And
Thanks.
I must say, I look at the pilot of this project and the trailers, the episodes as well, and you have done an amazing job.
Thank
And
you.
I saw that this started by receiving the State Arts Board Artist Initiative Grant, which was actually what funded this project. Will you like, congratulations on such, and will you like to speak a little bit more of it?
Yeah, sure. And thanks for having me anything. Really appreciate it. That was a few years ago. Prior to this, I wrote and directed three feature films and also seven short films. So I kind of just wanted to try something new after doing all that. And I put together the idea for this project and didn't really plan on ever making it. I just thought, I'd sell the script and see where it went. But then this grant opportunity came across. I became aware of this here a few years ago. I thought I might as well try, see if I win, and I won. So at that point, they only want to give you the money, the grant money, if you actually make it. So that kind of forced my hand. Well, I guess I have to make it now because they don't fund it otherwise. So that kind of led me to just going ahead and doing it and just giving it a shot. So again, I don't think otherwise I would have done it. But yeah, it was a great honor to win that grant, and it helped us make this first season. And yeah, it was really a lucky thing for me.
Thank you, Dave. And while I was looking at it too, I realized that you touched on bases, which is about love, hate, spirituality, morality, those bases, which are very important nowadays, what we're currently seeing. And it gives us a lot to think of too, because it's the project that you have done is something that we see in reality and we face during these days also. So with that said, could you tell us the reason behind this project?
Wow. Yeah. Again, I wanted to try a different kind of way of telling a story than I had before. And I started to after my last feature, I just took 2 years off and just basically just wrote because I was kind of burned out from production and everything else, and I do all the editing too. So I just kind of wanted to write for a couple of years and see where it took me, and I started to get quite fascinated in some interesting ideas that you don't see a lot in film and TV, having to do with the things you mentioned, but I guess more kind of metaphysically, the illusion of free will, especially, and how that is something that is not often thought about, but actually, is kind of the basis for a lot of the reality that we live in. And I wanted to kind of explore the implications of that if you really took that idea seriously. And that led me to kind of structure the project the way the narrative in the way I did, which I think becomes more apparent the more you watch it. So it's got a very meta narrative, kind of a reflective structure that I think, in a way, sort of alludes to these heavy themes that I'm mentioning here. I think in a relatively unique way that I've never seen done before. So trying to put all that together is what really excited me about the project as far as doing it. We're actually working on season 2 right now. We're finishing production on that pretty soon. So that whole germ of that idea really led to further exploration of just not just these concepts that I was trying to explore, but also just ways of doing it narratively, which I had not seen done before. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's really what excited me about the project and what I wanted to try, which was different than what I'd done before. It's a very a very unique structure and I think a pretty unique idea to really dig into in a way I'd not seen done before.
Thank you so much, Dave. And during this project, Incompleteness, there was a process where you had a pause and you faced some challenges during COVID. Could you like to speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that wasn't an not an enjoyable part of it. It was a pretty tough situation where we had several shoots left to get done. In March of 2020, which we all had to live through and for me, it was just like it felt like we were never going to be able to get back to it. It might just kind of fall apart. So, it took many months off from production, and then decided to just go ahead and finish it with, under all the COVID, strictures we had at the time, with masks and social distancing and everything else that he had to do with a skeleton crew of just a few folks. And but we got through it, and it was, it also gave me time to kind of rewrite some stuff I wanted to rewrite before the final scenes we were going to shoot. So in a way, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. But at the same time, it was very frustrating and challenging. And everyone that's doing this kind of work had to go through it. And for us, it was just kind of band together as a team and stuff to make sure that we actually finished this thing, because it was looking pretty tough for a while.
Thank you, Dave. And I know COVID has taken a toll during that time, and even at this moment, because it is a process, and we are getting much better, but it's still a process of us to get into a different level currently. And for you to be able to have completed season 1, it has been a big challenge, but you achieved such. And we want to thank you and just congratulate you for such. And we're looking forward to see the other seasons to come as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. I would like to ask, what other other filmmakers that are out there, or they are thinking, they having these thoughts, these doubts, if they should start, what type of advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I get asked a fair amount, because I've been doing this a while, and I always say just, make something. It doesn't have to be a big budget thing. I learned doing these 7 short films I mentioned. I mean, the average production budget was like $50 to $100 total. I mean, that was really low budget, but that's how I learned how to do all this stuff. And if you have $25, make a $25 film. If you have $250, make a $250 film. Just make something. Use your iPhone. But I've really found the only way to learn the stuff is to do it. You don't really learn it by reading books, watching videos, talking to people. It's all helpful, but until you actually start doing it and understand what how to write scripts that you can direct, and how to direct scripts that you can edit, and all that stuff, and how it works together, it's really tough to get that knowledge without just doing it. So my advice is always just do it. Grab a cell phone and a couple of friends that you got a couple page script. Just try it, and then try the next thing. That's absolutely how I got started, and it's led to all this other stuff. So start small and just keep at it.
And that's a great advice, because how can you get to the next step or level of achievement if you just don't take the first step?
Right.
Trust in yourself and believing in what you have inside of you, because no one else have it than you. So it's just try. Just try. And thank you so much for giving us that advice. I must say that this film, this production, it talks about something specific that we see a lot happen in cancer. There's a lot of people undergoing cancer treatments and so forth. But knowing, and I'm not going to speak fully about it because I want those that have not seen it yet to take the time to view it. But seeing someone that just recently got diagnosed and being a workaholic, and now did a complete turn on his life to try to get a bonding with his family, with those that are close to him. And with that said, is what exactly was the inspiration, or what brought you into writing this
Hmm.
project?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say it's two different things. I mean, I do have cancer in my family. My sister's had it, and she survived, thank God. My grandfather died of cancer, and there's just been a lot of it in my family, and it's just something that's touched my life. So I wanted to bring that experience. Um, you know, it's also, it's for me, it's not necessarily the disease. It's kind of used as a narrow device to think of to speak to the broader issue. Like, someone like myself who's gotten to middle age, and you start to wonder, what am I doing with my life? And in the case of Alex, the lead character, this kind of forces his hand to, like, well, I want to make these films for my son. His unborn son, is we find out in the series, he's got a pregnant wife who he may or may not get to meet his son because he's got terminal cancer. So it was also a way beyond just my own personal experience to speak more directly to a more generalizable experience, which is just like, what do I do? What do I want to do with my life? And for this character, it was really something that was the catalyst for, quitting his job and just doing what he wanted to do. And I wanted to, I basically used that diagnosis to get to this broader idea of, we only live once, and we only have so much time here. And, at some point in our lives, all the lives, we have to decide what we're going to do. If we're doing what we want to do, that's great. If we're not, you can't wait any longer, and you just have to get at it. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I mean, basically, the disease itself was kind of my family, but then the idea of it was just to kind of get to this theme of, you only live once, and no time like the present to make the most of it. And this is what forced his hand to do that.
Thank you so much, Dave, and thank you for adding this piece of your life, of your story, of your family, something that you put it together and you bring it to reality as well. And bringing a caring value to it and humanity at the same time. And we must say is admirable. And I I'm just hope that all the other projects that you're currently working on, we are able to see expand, and we're able to see it on the big screens as well as what we're seeing with Incompleteness too. And I know we haven't had a chance to see you in person on Miami Wet Fest, but I'm sure we're looking forward very soon to have you in person. But this virtual platform allow us and every other ones that are viewing globally to have the experience to see your work, to hear from your own voice as to what has taken to get this project and the inspiration, challenges of such as well. And with that note, Dave, there's anything else that you will want to tell to the rest of the audience that are out there listening to you?
Yeah, well, again, first of all, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate this. This is, I appreciate these questions. It's always great to talk about the things that you've asked about. So I love that opportunity to do that. I'd love to come to the festival next time. We are working on season 2, and we'll definitely submit again. So hopefully next time we get to go there. Yeah, there's a ton more on the website if folks are interested in a lot more background on what I'm talking about. Incompleteness, theseries.com. They can go to there. And we're hoping to get this on a streaming service in the next year or two, hopefully both seasons. So, appreciate any interest anyone has in this stuff. It's been a great ride for us, playing a lot of festivals and getting to meet a lot of great people and other filmmakers as well. So, yeah, if anyone that wants to go see it, I really appreciate your interest. And, you can reach out to me through the website as well if you have any questions or follow-ups. But, I definitely appreciate Miami Web Fest and this interview and the opportunity to screen for everybody.
You are so welcome. And Dave, since you already shared with us your website, which is once again incompleteness.com, do you have any social media channel that you would like to share as well?
Actually, that's just it. It's actually Incompleteness, the series. It's all one word. .com. That's pretty much everything we have is on there. It's got the trailer. It's got a lot of background on what I was talking about as far as the themes and what we're trying to do here, and the cast and the crew and all that. So that's kind of one-stop shopping if you want to learn more about the series is that website, incompleteness.series.com.
Thank you so much, Dave. It was a pleasure having you. It was a pleasure and an honor to be able to interview you. And we will see you very soon. Thank you for taking this time with us as well. Here you have it, Dave Hash, the writer-director of Incompleteness. If you haven't seen it yet, take the time to view it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anissa. I really appreciate this.
You're
Take
welcome.
care.
You're welcome.